Imagine for a moment the perfect ending. A stadium completely full, the noise overwhelming, millions of people watching from every corner of the world. The referee looks at his watch, raises the whistle, and blows for full time. Portugal are world champions. This is not just another scene, not just another victory. It is the end of a story that has taken decades to be written. In the middle of that celebration, while everyone is running and shouting, there is one figure who stops. Cristiano Ronaldo. Standing still. Breathing deeply. As if in that exact moment he understands everything the journey has meant. As if he knows that this moment does not just close a career, but redefines the history of football. Cristiano Ronaldo is not just a footballer. He is a constant construction of discipline, ambition, and mentality. From his early days in Madeira, to his transformation at Manchester United, his rise at Real Madrid, and his time at Juventus, his career has been a continuous evolution. He was not simply a natural talent that appeared and dominated. He was someone who reinvented himself over and over again to stay at the top. He changed his body, his style of play, his way of competing. He learned to be a winger, then a goal scorer, then a leader, and finally a symbol. But even the greatest stories have gaps. And in Cristiano's case, there has always been one that never disappeared: the World Cup. That tournament that does not just add a title, but transforms everything that came before it. Because the FIFA World Cup is not just a competition. It is where football becomes collective memory. Cristiano has been there. He has played in World Cups. He has scored. He has led his national team. He has had important moments. But he has never reached that final point. He has never stood in that moment where everything is decided. And with every edition that passes, time becomes a more difficult opponent to defeat. Because unlike other rivals, time cannot be beaten with training or effort. It can only be accepted, or challenged. The 2026 World Cup is not just another opportunity. It is likely the last real chance to close that chapter. And that changes everything. Because when an opportunity becomes the last one, every detail matters more. Every decision carries more weight. Every match feels different. Portugal, on the other hand, arrive in a very different moment compared to previous years. They are no longer a team that depends entirely on one player. They are a team that has evolved, that has integrated young talent with experience, that has built a more balanced identity. Technical players, fast players, intelligent players, competing at the highest level. A generation that does not just support, but truly competes. In that context, Cristiano is no longer the same as before. And that is not a weakness, it is a transformation. Because now his value is not in covering the entire field, but in understanding the exact moment to appear. His game is no longer based on constant explosiveness, but on precision. On reading the game. On the experience accumulated through years of competing at the highest level. The path to winning a World Cup is long and complex. Each stage represents a different challenge. In the group stage, the objective is consistency. Avoid mistakes, collect points, maintain control. In the round of 16, everything changes. There is no margin. One match decides everything. In the quarterfinals, the pressure increases. In the semifinals, the level reaches its peak. And in the final is different. It feels different. It breathes differently. To reach that point, everything would have to align for Portugal. Not only performance on the pitch, but also factors that cannot always be controlled. Confidence, physical condition, tactical decisions, even luck. Because in tournaments like the World Cup, details are everything. One defensive mistake, one missed chance, one moment of distraction, can completely change the outcome. Portugal would need to move through each stage with precision. Get through the group stage strongly. Win a difficult match in the knockout rounds. Face a major power in the quarterfinals. Survive the pressure of the semifinals. And throughout that journey, one factor would be crucial: mentality. Because talent alone does not win World Cups. History has shown that many brilliant teams fall short. And others, perhaps less spectacular, advance because they can compete under pressure. That is where Cristiano Ronaldo could make the difference. Not as the player who dominates every minute, but as the leader who understands the moment. The one who knows when to accelerate, when to slow down, when to take responsibility, and when to trust his teammates. That kind of presence is not always reflected in statistics. It is not always measured in goals or assists. But it is felt. It influences. It changes everything. Still, the path would not be easy. Because other teams are also ready. Brazil, France, Argentina, England. Each with talent, depth, and ambition. There are no easy matches in a World Cup. There are no small opponents in the final stages. And yet, football has something unpredictable. Something that escapes logic. Something that allows unexpected stories to become reality. Portugal may not be the main favorite, but that could work in their favor. Less pressure. More freedom. More belief. And in that scenario, a well-organized team with strong leadership can go further than expected. If Portugal reach the final, everything changes again. A World Cup final is unlike any other match. It is not just about tactics or statistics. It is about emotional control. About handling pressure. About surviving the moment. And that is where experience matters. Cristiano has played finals. He has lived those moments. He understands what it takes. That does not guarantee victory, but it gives an advantage. Because in those matches, the winner is not always the most talented, but the one who manages the moment best. And then comes that decisive moment. A cross into the box. A perfectly timed jump. A shot that defines everything. If that moment belongs to Cristiano Ronaldo, everything changes. It would not just be a goal. It would not just be a victory. It would be the completion of a story built over years of sacrifice and determination. For years, the debate with Lionel Messi has existed. Two different paths. Two different styles. Two different ways of reaching greatness. One based on natural talent, fluidity, and instinct. The other built on discipline, relentless work, and an unbreakable mentality. Two different ways of becoming legendary. If Cristiano lifts the World Cup, that debate does not disappear. But it changes forever. And beyond any comparison, what truly matters is the meaning. Because winning a World Cup at that stage of his career would not just be another achievement. It would be confirmation. Confirmation that even with time passing, even with new generations rising, he can still compete at the highest level. Still make the difference. Still decide. But there is also another possibility. That it never happens. That football, once again, shows that it does not always follow the perfect script. That even the greatest careers can have unfinished chapters. And if that happens, his legacy does not disappear. Because Cristiano Ronaldo is already history. Already a legend. Already unforgettable. The World Cup could change the narrative. But it does not define everything. And yet, as long as the possibility exists, the story is still open. Because football is not just about what happens. It is also about what could happen. And in that possibility, Cristiano Ronaldo can still lift the World Cup.